Good. Hey, we are live.
All
Yo.
right.
Okay, why I feel like this headphone isn't working. You know what? We just all having all the technical
The
difficulties. Yeah,
power of wireless headphones.
for real. You know what? I was this close to going to get my studios, but then I was like, no, because watch me break out my wireless, and then all of a sudden we have a problem there.
Yeah.
And not today. Today is not the day.
I'm a
So
I'm a soundcore person. We like our soundcores. The
ooh.
soundcore
Oh,
Life P2.
is that like the Anchor company?
Yeah. I swear
Okay,
by
because
my
yeah,
Anchor stuff. Yeah. I got
yo, they.
Anchor. I got the speakers. I just got the
Hmm.
newest speaker, the Soundcore 3.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I got it
Hiya.
a couple months ago. And yeah,
How is
I
it?
like it. It's
Okay,
it's really bassy.
because we have the older Anchor Sound Course
I
speakers. We have two, and we love them.
I have the two too. I've got the two
They're the
too.
best. The two, yeah, one's always in the bathroom, and then one is usually in like the living
Oh,
room.
I kept on like breaking the ones. I broke the
How?
one. It
How?
has this thing where if you like when I was trying to switch between devices with it, it just would just stop working. And every
That's
time I
whack.
tried to reset it, it was yeah.
That's not cute. We don't accept that here. Look at all the cuties. Hey, Malka, Ashley in the house. Joan is here. Cats. Jacqueline is saying hello from Canada. Okay. Yo, we're so excited. I hold on, wait. So this, of course, is going to be the live show for Enby Book Club's October book, which was Sorrowland. Hey. And I know your cover is, oh, it's immaculate. So I want to get us started by shining a little bit of a spotlight on this wonderful co-host we have here. So would you mind giving us a little introduction into who you are?
Hey y'all. Our name is Ari. I have a channel named Boricua Reads, also a blog by the same name, and also a couple of other things that I have my hands in. I do gaming stuff and a lot of other stuff here in the city. Of course, I do, festivals and things like that. It's fun. And I am just very glad to be here because River Solomon is one of my favorites.
Hmm. Incredible. Like it's incredible to share a planet with that entity, yo. Like River
They
Solomon.
are
Mm,
they are a
pretty much.
trip. Like every
Mm-mm.
every few weeks they say something on Twitter that makes me say, "Oh my goodness, I want to send this person back to the People Factory, but oh my gosh, I love them so much."
Not back to the people factory. I'm in tears. I'm in tears. I cannot. Yo, like, I feel like if I could have dinner with one person, like one author, it would be like obviously it would be a quick AMSE because they're my favorite author, but I
Yes.
also fear them deeply. So I don't
Yes.
think I'd be able to eat. So if I could have dinner with one of
I
them,
love having conversations with them. They're hilarious.
yeah, I keep forgetting that y'all are like best freaking friends. Okay. That's so it could never be me. I would forget all of
I
that.
literally told them once they start doing their book tours again, I'm coming with like the pile of books. And they laughed at me.
We love to see it. You get your signatures, boo. Yes, I can't. Kat says I can't afford more auto-buy authors. I'm saying though, River Solomon could come out with a book of grocery lists And I would pre-order that shit. Okay. River Solomon could write a book just shredding my entire life and channel, insulting the dog. It doesn't matter. And I would be like, yeah, it's 5 out of 5 stars. We ain't shit. You know what I mean? We're such a big fan of Rivers' work. So, like,
we've actually read all of their books within this year. So
I think I'm missing one. What is the one with the blood red cover? It's a novella.
I don't have that one. I don't think it's out yet.
It's not out yet. Okay, because
I don't think it's out yet.
Maybe the release date got pushed back because I thought it was supposed to come out this year, but dang, River Solomon could write the phone book, and I'm in tears. Y'all are clowns. Okay, so what is your favorite? So quick thing. What we're gonna do right now, how this is gonna go, is we're just gonna chat about the author, some preliminary thoughts about the book, nothing spoilery. We're gonna talk about our ratings. Y'all are gonna share yours, and after a little bit of time passes, we'll give a warning for when the conversation is about to get spoilery, because we have this book. This book has some scenes that need to be unpacked. Okay.
Yeah.
That requires spoilers.
Definitely. But
y'all will get a warning.
When they said it was going to be super gay, I was not expecting.
Like, there's a difference between super gay and this book, because they're super gay, and then I feel like this book is literally a superhero wearing a cape whose name is gay. That's how gay this book is. Like, that scene towards the end, I was like, okay, so we're just carrying the flag for the whole community. Like,
right.
The whole community. It was so gay, and I was so happy about it. So what's in terms of the other works that you've read by Rivers, where does this rank in your rankings?
I'm going to put this at number 2 behind The Unkindness of Ghosts. Because it just ranks up there because of the writing. The writing was amazing. The funny thing about me is I was literally sitting here and making like parallels between like Star Trek Discovery with the Mycelial Network and Sorrowland. I was like, I'm a nerd.
You are. I don't know what you're talking about. It ain't me. I'm like,
but yeah, I like the science fiction, kind of intertwined with all of the, social justice stuff and everything like that. It's actually really well written. And of course, I was a little bit hesitant because I did read Mexican Gothic, and the whole, mushrooms, made me never want to trust them ever again. So I was just like, do we want to read about more mushrooms? Yes. When we talk about mycelial networks, that's basically what you're talking about. And in Star Trek Discovery, when he put the mycelial network into his bloodstream, he started going around trying to kill people. I don't know. So I was a little hesitant.
Sure. But it worked out because it's your number 2.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay, you scared me for a second. I was like, don't make me kick you off this live.
But
we'll end this right here.
But I want more from An Unkindness of Ghosts, maybe a novella or something like that. Because that ending, I wasn't satisfied at all. So that ranks number one only because of the story.
Okay.
But if the deep was a little bit longer, I think I would have ranked it a little bit higher.
Okay. What about y'all? In who are watching, what did you rate Sorrowland? What was your rating? For me personally, I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. Sorrowland is actually our favorite of Rivers's canon. Um, I knew that I would love this book, but it is one of my favorite books of all time now. Like it did that for me. Um, it was a book that I really had to take my time with because even though I wanted to binge it, there was a overwhelming need to really sit and kind of slowly consume because I knew once it was over, it was going to be over, you know? And also I think that there's a lot worthy of digesting in this novel. There is so much in terms of like social science and social themes and messaging that Solomon is trying to put out into this book. But then you also have like really phenomenal ways of exploring humanity and what it means to be human in not only like a deeply exploited body, but in a deeply exploited community. It just was like, it was so brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you got to add that it's queer, and then you got to add the horror because this book was disturbing. It was just like, this felt like a birthday present. You know?
Yeah.
It was so good.
I like that it was a little bit messy.
Yeah, I was like, okay, tell him how you really feel. Blood was everywhere. Vern is a really interesting protagonist. I'm seeing a lot of 5 out of 5 stars here. We love to see it. Okay, so Joan agrees with you, Ari, about the unkindness of ghosts, the ending being unsatisfying. Oh, read a library copy and ran by my own. Fair. That is so fair. Yeah, so who is your favorite character, Ari, and why?
I love Howling. He reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger.
Really?
Like, just very off the hinges and saying whatever's on your mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, just very, just out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Sure.
no holds barred, no filter, nothing.
It was something. Howling and Farrell and their relationship with Vern as their parent was difficult for me to reconcile, having come from a household where even speaking one's mind was seen as disrespectful. And
Yeah.
so like we had been raised with the literal fear of God in our parents. And so it was, and I think a lot of like Afro Latinx kids are too. And so at
Yeah.
first I was very disturbed by Vern letting her children run so damn wild because I was like, this is not our culture and this could never be me. It was giving me anxiety. But then I realized that I think that that was Solomon's intention, was to create a space where a Black individual could allow their progeny to be unruly in a world that was so determined to tame them. And I found that really beautiful.
I did grow up in a Latinx home too, and it was very strict. My mom and dad are Pentecostal Christians, and they very much believed in spirit of rod spoiled a child. But my thing is when certain truths have to be told, or else the problem presents itself as a bigger problem, things have to be said. So
True.
my parents understood that as well. So me speaking about teachers who weren't listening to me when I said someone was bullying me, or
Hmm.
whenever I told the teacher off, or whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
there was a reason for that. So if it came through and my mom found out that I was talking back to the teachers or whatever, and then she finds out why, usually she was on my side.
Hmm.
Because it was one of those things where it was like, nah, what
Hmm.
you're not gonna do.
Right.
So yeah, I was very outspoken, but also the filter knew when to appear.
I'm in tears. I feel that. I feel that. Yes, most definitely. I think for us, Vern was our favorite character because it's so rare that Black girls and Black women and uh, Black intersex folk, Black gender nonconforming folk get to just be assholes, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
just to put it bluntly, Vern is not a likable individual. She is, she has no manners. She doesn't say please and thank you. She doesn't know how to be respectful. Like, even the concept of respect is not A,
yeah,
not something that interests her, but B, not something that she really has. And that's something that she prides herself in. And as somebody who, being trans and Black, um, as somebody who was both of those things growing up as both of those things in a very white town, I feel like we learned early on to cope with transphobia and anti-Blackness by making ourselves as small and apologetic as possible. So even to this day, I have like such anxiety about speaking up for myself in real life. It's so easy for me to do it online, but when somebody, especially a person who's in a position of power, um, is being disrespectful to me, it's very hard because it like triggers me and pushes me back into that small space of being like a trans child who like couldn't speak up
yeah,
for themselves. And so Vern is like my hero, like top 5 favorite protagonist, because she doesn't care. She does not care, and that's beautiful. It's so beautiful to see that. I vibe with it,
yeah,
and also like not to forget that Vern's also disabled, and to also see like an unfriendly disabled person
yeah.
pushing back. It's just like I love it. I love it.
For I think for us though, it
Hmm.
was more so we were we knew we were trans back then, and I'm from North Carolina. We're
Oh, I didn't know that.
very much, well, I'm from New York, but we actually did spend some time in North Carolina,
Okay.
which is not a very good, place to be in as a trans person.
Hmm.
So we found ourselves expressing ourselves through, being rude and disrespectful sometimes, instead of, on the other side being expressive in saying, hey, well, I'm trans
Hmm.
and you're gonna like me or not, basically. So I think my, me telling people where to where to stick it,
Hmm.
basically, was me trying to shake off some of that, agony that I was in.
Mm.
So I think me being such a big mouth and just saying whatever was partially because my grandmother was like that.
Mm.
And when she wanted to say something, she was not about to hold her tongue.
Mm.
We spent a lot of time with her. So I picked up what she started.
Hmm. It's a beautiful thing to pass on. Like, I'm so glad that you had that because that's armor, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, it can't protect you from everything, you know, but what was I going to say? Okay, so my next question was, without giving spoilers, what was your favorite scene? Oh, no, not favorite scene. I'm sorry. Quotes. Give me some favorite quotes. If you have any.
I think my favorite, my all-time favorite was at the beginning end of the book, where they said Vern liked not knowing, liked the possibility of it. Let him unfold as he would in the woods where animals ruled with teeth and claws. Like, that's just a powerful way to think about, oh yeah, we're in the woods, so I'm just gonna let you be who you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when in society we have so many people out here trying to fight the transness of children.
For real. For literally existing. Like, I'm not sure how this is a debate. But for real, absolutely. Yeah, I dig that. Honestly, like, as an earth spirit, my whole being was vibrating in correspondence to this book, and like the depiction of the woods and connection to the earth as a way of reconnecting to yourself, and just,
Yeah.
it was so beautiful. So I highlighted a few things. Okay, let me find one. So this particular bit really spoke to me. As the sun rose, she lamented her necessary return to the cabin, where she'd be forced to confront her inadequacies. The forest didn't mind illiterates and mad girls, didn't mind that screaming was sometimes a person's only language. Like,
Yeah.
how do you write this? Who are you? Yes, and Jerry says, I loved the forest as friend, loved the earth energy. And that's a really good point that Jerry's making, is that the forest itself is a character in this novel. Like, the forest itself is not only the medium where these kids, I mean, because even Vern herself, like, is a child, are unfurling, but it also is as influential as any of the people who speak in the story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like where she transforms. Should we get into the spoilers now? Is there something you want to talk about before we go into spoiler territory?
We can.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this spoiler thingy up on the screen just for now. All right. Favorite scene, or least
my favorite scene? My favorite scene has to be when they finally come out the woods and they go to the gas station to get food, and Howling and Feral literally dubbed this food electricity food. And then every time they go anywhere else where the food is cooked with a stove or anything, electricity food, we want electricity food, let's get it. And it's just like, and if you listen to the audiobook, the person who's narrating the book literally captures the voice of Feral and Howling so well. Like, literally this childlike voice. And it's kind of scary a little bit.
I was going to say, that sounds creepy. Sounds creepy. I don't know how to feel about that. And Jerry says the petty theft.
Yes. When she put all them clothes on them and then put them in that cart.
Push them
and and the person is like literally running after them. I don't even think that person was trying. At that point, it was like Okay, they don't pay me enough for this shit.
Right. I wouldn't. Do you? You know? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's so freaking. I forgot about the shopping cart scene. I cannot. It's like that was a part of the magic of the book was how these people just clearly cannot function in in larger society and don't know the customs, and also like Vern don't care. She doesn't care. She doesn't care either.
And Howling don't either. Howling just says whatever.
Howling does not care. Howling does not care. Yeah, that was a really good scene. For us, our favorite scene was it still makes me laugh to this day. The scene where Vern is Ollie getting messed up by Vern. Okay, Vern's had enough of Ollie, and she's gonna kill her. And Vern murders Ollie and rips her head off of her body, and then uses the severed head to unlock Ollie's phone. and she keeps it until later in the scene, and she uses it again. And I'm just, the way it was written, I was like, on a scale from 1 to Vern, how extra are you? like give me a scale here. Like, how much should I fear you? I was like, oh my god, I want to be with her.
Yeah.
So amazing. So amazing. Marley is probably already gone, but I'm so glad that you enjoyed it if you're still here. Also, I would say the orgy scene was quite.
I mean, if you gonna do it with a ghost, hey, it is what it is.
It wasn't even just that it wasn't just that it was an orgy. It was a ghost. I love River so much. Like, nobody could do that. No one could be like, you know what this book needs? A ghost orgy. And make it happen and make it like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but brilliant. It's brilliant. You know? Hi, Scully! I'm so glad you're in the house. And Jerry says, oop, not me accidentally blocking. Okay, and Jerry says, I loved Ollie as a villain, such an intimate villain. It reminded me of what you said in the Kingdom of Souls review about meaningful villains. Absolutely. I agree with that. I enjoyed Ollie as a villain because of, I don't know if compelling is the right word, but complex, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Is a really good word to describe Ollie. And Ollie was obviously not someone that you would want to be your nurse. You know? Probably shouldn't work in a lab ever. But I really did enjoy the, like, subterfuge and like the spying and the motivations and the long haul game that Ollie was playing. And when you kind of find out how much of a role Ollie has played in Vern's family, were you shocked? Because I was like, oh, okay, so I don't
like didn't she like recruit them and bring them to the compound? And
yeah, she recruited Vern's mother. And, you know, because her mother was destitute and prayed, which was honestly like such amazing commentary on how Black bodies are seduced into experimentation and consenting to these awful medical studies. It's like, hey, we're going to give you a benefit and access to something you desperately need and deserve as a human right. But in exchange, we need your body. And that whole theme of the book was just like, oh, so good. Em said, I read it in August and don't remember a lot. How could I forget a ghost orgy? My favorite thing from the ghost orgy scene was that Vern was like, Yeah, I don't really like men, but fuck it.
Right. Right.
I was like, you go, girl. You
And Go-Go's like on the phone, like, hey, tell me what's happening. Go through it step by step.
And for real. I was like, not a map. They killed me. It was literally Danny Phantom. Did you ever watch that show?
Yes.
You know, that was some Danny Phantom. River Solomon was watching Danny Phantom and went, that's a good idea. You wrote that into the book. I am banning Rivers from Cartoon Network. It was so good. And why was it so good? I was like, oh,
why do we like this?
I know.
It's like, why do we like this? And why is this our favorite part in the book?
I know, like, oh yeah, the severed head, and like not like, oh, all these touching moments where Vern is bonding and
not at all.
I want severed heads and ghost orgies. What about y'all? Not my voice cracking. What about y'all in the comment section? What were your favorite scenes? And while you're, I'm sorry, Joan said, Ollie creeped me out from the moment she appeared. I just love that so much. When I read that recruitment part, I immediately thought about medical experimentation on black bodies.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sorry. Akasha stirred behind me and I'm creeped out because we were just talking about experiments and I was like, no, don't take me. I was like, no. Okay, so were there any scenes in the book that you didn't like? Or that made you uncomfortable or angry?
I think the one that made me the most angry was when they killed everyone in the compound. Like, y'all ain't have to do all that. That was overkill.
Get it?
And yeah.
Overkill? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person.
But yeah, I just the waste of black life.
Yeah.
Because of, underlying, intentions.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember, because Gogo was brought back to life with Vern's spores.
Yeah.
But wasn't also the black folk at the compound? They were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're just saying the fact that it happened was...
Yeah, like...
Yeah, okay, good. I just want to make sure I remember that correctly. Because we'd be forgetting. Aw, Jan. Hi, Jaddy. Jan in the house. Yeah, I feel that. The part of the book that frustrated me the most was the relationship between Ruthann and Vern. And for those who need a refresher, Ruthann is Vern's mother. And Vern has a lot of anger at her mother for not protecting her.
On site.
I'm about to go into like a nuanced analysis of Ruthann's troubled psyche and are just like, we gonna fight. We gonna fight.
It's all fight. Yo, y'all, whoever was in the unkindness of ghosts, read along with us. Know how I felt about what's her name's best friend. It was on site.
The man? Theo?
No. The girl.
Oh, yeah, about her too.
We even nicknamed we nicknamed the white lady who is on the like plantation decks Samantha Karen.
Alright, I'm gonna be out. Ari, can you wrap this up? I'm gonna take my leave.
Yes, Giselle.
Giselle, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys are so ruthless. If I'm being honest, Ruth Ann could have stayed dead. I
See, my sentiments exactly.
Rivers try so hard to build a redemption arc, and none of you are having it. Like,
Nope. Chop, chop. Chop, chop.
You gotta go. That's hilarious. Okay, well. But yeah, so the point where I was going with that was that initial conversation where Vern calls her mom. And I forget what the point of the call was, to confront her or to say she was okay.
Yeah, it was to
like
confront her. Yeah.
It was to confront her. And Ruth
Yeah.
Ann was trash, as she had been throughout.
Like, I already knew. I knew everything.
You knew.
It was better for us here than out there, so, I just stayed. And I let you marry this dude who's just no good. And basically he raped you, and now you have his kids. So, ta-da! Just made me want to punch her through the phone.
Not ta-da! Yeah, I mean, it's awful. It's so freaking horrible. I'm so consistently amazed by Solomon's insistence on giving us complex characters, even though, because I'm on board with y'all too about Ruth Ann. She could go, but she was still given a redemption arc, even if we didn't care for it. But the author still made sure that was in the book. Like, there really are no flat characters in Rivers Solomon's canon that I can think of, and I have a lot of respect for that. Like, you're going to take the time to build up someone we're not going to like anyway. I just think it's great storytelling. Good old Samantha Karen. I cannot with this. Yeah, and Jerry, and Jerry says Ruth Ann is many of our mothers, and I think that's what makes her so frustrating, is that we have so many mothers for those of us who are marginalized, who didn't protect us in the way that we needed or wanted, either because they didn't know how, or were scared to, or refused to, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that impacts the child in just so many ways,
and it's part of the reason why Vern never actually grew up. She was very childlike in that way, because she was so sheltered, first of all, from the outside world, and second, her mother made sure that she had no autonomy, and she had no agency of her own. So she was not able to just, build her own narrative. She had to go along with the narrative that was given to her.
Why are you so smart? Okay, Toni Morrison over here. Yes, and Jerry brought up a fantastic thing that we haven't touched on yet, which was Vern'S Metamorphosis. So I think, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. Scully just being like, I have to go, bye. Bye, Scully. But yeah, let's talk about Vern'S Metamorphosis. So, for anyone who doesn't remember, Vern is slowly transforming throughout the book.
Yeah.
And growing extra
Doesn't know why.
Doesn't know why. No manual. The body horror is on 10 with this book.
Yeah, like, the carapace is getting bigger and bigger. And she's, like, got these wings and everything. And we're just like, okay, what is happening?
Right. Yeah, it was really... No, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And my thing is, she was literally, like, there were parts where she was laying on the ground, and communicating with the mycelial network. Those are like some of my favorite parts because that kind of signifies her uh, just accepting
Mm-hmm.
something she can't change. So that was like one of my biggest things right there. Like her communing with the mycelial network.
Yeah, I don't um I'm not going to speak for you, but for us, um, as as being multiple self, this book really hits for that reason in particular is that Vern describes the what is the word for it?
Carapace,
Carapace.
I
Thank
think.
you. Yeah, I think you're right. Vern's describing the carapace as a passenger,
Yeah.
as something that is carried and resides and is evolving with or without her consent. And eventually, when she finds so much more peace and the I don't mean this in a sexual sense, but pleasure. It's the best way I can like describe it in giving in and being connected to this mycelial network,
Yeah.
right? And also like accepting her passenger as one with her. And as somebody who's multiple self, that like really spoke to us. And I think because I think that with this theme of the mycelium and it being used as a device to show the ways that um, fungi and trees communicate in the forest, that it's important to acknowledge that that is a network that human beings are situated within as well. And I feel, for me, I felt like this book was kind of digging into a return to that,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained that, my thoughts.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it's you came into the world as you are,
mhm,
but through your life you were told you couldn't be that or whatever, and you come back to it, you revisit it, and you're like, no, no, not yet. But then you begin to accept it. It's not, it's gradual. And of course, yes, she finds pleasure in that.
mhm,
It's just like us, you know, feeling that euphoria.
mhm, exactly.
So
Yeah.
we're in that place where we're trying to find ways to feel that euphoria,
Mhm,
but also we're also accepting that there are certain things that make us feel uncomfortable,
mhm,
but also we're like just coming to our own.
mm, preach.
So yeah, it hit that way for us too.
I'm so
Very
glad that
much
we're
so.
we're not alone there.
Yeah.
When you talked about euphoria and like that representation causing euphoria, it the immediate thing that my brain went to was gender euphoria and
Yeah.
how you're so right that this book, I think for um multiples and for like earth spirited, element spirited individuals, like this gives like a spiritual euphoria, right? I don't know if it was like that for you,
Yeah.
but when you said
Yeah.
that, I was like, oh, like light bulb, like that's what I felt while reading this book.
I I think um reading Dear Syntheron helped me
Mm,
to accept my my multiplicity,
mhm,
but this book made me have the feels about that multiplicity. You know, coming into my own and understanding the very different characters that I am,
mhm,
you know, and being able to say, okay, I'm we sometimes, and
mhm,
I'm I sometimes, and maybe sometimes I'm just whatever I want to be called that day, you know. It's one of those things where the different pieces of the multiples come to the forefront, and they represent different people and want to be called different things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing Vern come into her own and understand and accept and begin to, flourish as a person, I feel like that can be a message for a lot of trans kids, especially non-binary kids, and especially two-spirit and, multiple people, because, there's a spirituality in understanding who you are as a person.
Word.
And that's
you talking is making me so emotional. I'm sorry. What?
I've been known to do that.
Not me crying on live. I'm like, keep it together, Jesse.
You're not the first. You're not the first. You're not the first. I've had people cry in lives about video games. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna be calling you when we need to feel something.
Just, you already know.
So, and Jerry says the network supported her and offered her a wholeness she was looking for elsewhere.
Yes, and I've noticed that theme when we talk about the mycelial network in a lot of media. I know you don't know what I'm talking about. I wish y'all have to watch Star Trek. Because
oh my gosh.
you've got to because
okay, wait.
because there's a queer character that works with mycelial spores, and is jealous of a tardigrade who can communicate with it. And when he finally does communicate with the mycelial network, it ends up having negative effects. So there's been like different ways that I've seen the mycelial network used when in, conjunction with human DNA. And this one is like one of the best ones. Like, this one made me have faith in mushrooms again.
I hear that. Yeah, after Sylvia Moreno Garcia broke it.
She broke everyone.
Just broke everybody. I mean, it's like, have y'all or anybody else who is watching, have any of y'all seen Fantastic Fungi, the documentary on Netflix?
Not yet.
I have seen it 3 times. It is that good, and it is just a compilation of data about mycelial networks and the implications for humanity, but also the various ways that plants and trees actively communicate through using language through mycelial networks. It's brilliant. So I think if you're like really interested in that, it's definitely like something that I'm looking into for I don't want to go on a tangent, but it's something that I'm just like really studying right now.
Yeah.
I think that you would like that. Yeah, but I might, maybe. I've just been like a non-Trekkie on principle.
And there is a black female captain now.
Oh yeah, I think I had heard about that.
Yeah.
Well, no, you keep going.
But yeah, I thoroughly loved this book because it made me make connections elsewhere too. But also, like, I actually had an interaction with Rivers, and it was kind of funny because they were just like, read on, go ahead, have fun. And it was just like, I can't wait till I get to the end.
Oh my gosh,
and they were just like, I'm not giving it away.
What a gem.
Yeah.
What a freaking gem, yo. All right, I think this is a really good place to end this live. Unless you have anything else that you want to add to the discussion, Ari.
Nah.
Since you've already made me cry, dropped all kinds of news and speech, analyses. No, I'm so honored to have you be the co-host. It meant so much that you said yes, and that we finally got to talk and share space.
And I was actually talking to Kevs, and we're reading Iron Widow together. So that's gonna be. So when y'all do that live, I'm gonna be excited, and I'm gonna be excited for the We Are Not Broken.
Hell yeah! Yeah, the We Are Not Broken live, which was our member, that live is gonna be first week of next week.
I might have a video that you might want to want to share.
Yes, DM it to me.
Yeah,
DM it to me. I would love to see it. Thank you. I absolutely love you, Erica. So the December book is Iron Widow, which I am doing a spoiler-filled vlog with my patrons, and then we are going to have a live show. Not sure who the guest host is going to be for December, but yeah, very excited. That'll be our last book of 2021 for Enby Book Club. So make sure you join in. And yeah, thanks again to Ari for being our amazing co-host. And follow Enby Book Club on Instagram if you don't already. And follow Ari on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah. And Boricua Reads.
Get it.
All
right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you have a fun, relaxing, and safe evening. Bye.
Bye.